Welcome back, folks, to World of Warships Legends. I'm Soopa-Dave, and today's build and play guide is on the Grasse. Alright, this thing is an absolute fun ship. It is on sale this week currently, if you're watching it when this comes out. So sorry about that, guys. It should have been out Tuesday, just completely forgot. That was my fault. Right, the Grasse, probably my favorite Tier 5 cruiser, even slightly over Dido and Pensacola. So it tells you a lot. I love it. It is a slightly better La Garrison, essentially. It's not the exact same ship, but the hulls are very similar. The guns are very similar. There are a little bit of differences, right? Look, D Grasse has one more torpedo per side and a better reload. Um, so just keep that in mind. Anyway, here, guys, for the commander, we're going a full fire build. Now, you could take Mimbelli here and do beyond range if you wanted, but what we're doing is it's a premium ship, so we're going to use some premium commanders with it a little bit here. Harbin and a Hagero for fire chance. This is a new build I've been working on, and I like it quite a bit. Along with Burn It Down XXL, Igniter, Punch Through, Fixated, and Refill Station. So for your upgrades, we're using Aiming Systems Mod 1, and Prop Mod is always in the second slot. You do get 2 heals. Now I think, I mean not 2 heals, 2 sonars. They're not the greatest, but they're not awful. They do come in handy. Engine boost, you do have 2 of them, along with 3 catapult fighters. Now I think the match I have for you guys is a little bit older one, and I might have had fully packed on instead of refill station on accident back when we couldn't have different builds or presets. So survivability 31,000 hit points, but just remember this has a very low fire resistance. It's French. There's some French ships that do that, right? This thing will start on fire pretty quick, and you don't have heals, so you gotta be careful with that. This thing is a DPM monster, but it can't take the beating. Alright, just not going to do that. So, main battery, as you can see here, they're 152s. They go out to 5.4. They reload in 7.5 seconds. Decent traverse. Shell grouping's pretty good. The 20% fire, though, guys. Alright, so you're talking about if this was a battleship, and you were shooting every 30 seconds, this would be 40%. The absolute flamethrower, and it pins 25, so not too bad there. AP, do not sleep on the AP on this ship. It is a light cruiser, but that doesn't mean you can't wreck people's days given the right opportunity. Torpedo launchers, you do have 3 of them per side instead of the 2 on La Garrison. They go to 9 kilometers. They're not bad. They're definitely handy to have. AA defense, it's not terrible, but not great either. You have a fair amount of it is out at 5 kilometers, as you can see, so not terrible, but I wouldn't rely on it, right? So turning circle 690, rudder at 88, maximum speed at 33, but with your remember, this is a French engine boost, so it's not 8% on this ship. Per ship in particular is 15. Pretty solid, right? You can really get around very quickly if you want to. So, the one bad thing is it's a French cruiser, so it don't have the world's best concealment, right? And your smoke firing penalty is 6 kilometers, which seems a little high for 152s, but that just might be me. Standard, you can see I do pretty well in it for a Tier 5 cruiser. I might not survive all the battles, but I have fun while I'm in them. That's for sure. Alright, not much to take away from here. Armor, as you can see, it's not heavily armed, right? So battleships, 16 bow and stern, and side plating, which is important because anything that's over a normal heavy cruiser, so like even Grasse and Cheshire, this is all they see. That's just a wide open citadel open for business. And because of them funky angles on it, you take some citadels, right? Uh, so you gotta be careful in this ship. So for our match, I could have, I think I had like 5 matches saved on this thing that we could have used. Now, I picked this one not because of the damage total or anything like that. It just felt like this was the most like complete, well-balanced game showcasing the ship. Alright, we're on Warrior's Path. And the one thing I will tell you with this ship is it is a DPM monster if given the right opportunities. And I mean that. This thing is absolutely a lot of fun, as you can see. We're pretty good solid first level out of the gate on Matsu. California, not going to be no different, right? We're going to take some shots at destroyers. Going to be hard at this range, right? But like I said, you want to not be the center of attention in this ship. Trust me. It will not go well for you if you are. I can play pretty dumb and aggressive in a lot of things. This is, in my opinion, this plays so much like maybe a tier 5 Bayard, right? Like if you get spotted in a Bayard and you're not paying attention, you're going to be killed pretty easily. And that's the way like your Grasse is here. But it can be so much fun that it's worth it. Because the HE is awesome, the AP is awesome on this ship. Like, yeah, it's a light cruiser. But for a light cruiser, what the ship does is pretty good. It's got a really good fire chance. It's got the AP that will actually citadel stuff and chunk battleships. Right? Even as a light cruiser, this thing will chunk battleships given the right opportunity, right? So, and you guys will kind of see that. So over there, them battleships kind of running away. Over here, my thought process is if we can quickly get rid of these 2 cruisers, I can kind of use the island. Now, you guys are going to see what I'm talking about is you can't be the center of attention, and the ship starts on fire pretty easily. Fiji obviously isn't going to set us on fire. He's got AP, right? So he can't. We're going to go ahead. We were trying to Citadel Fiji there for a little bit. We're going to switch back over to AP. We're going to struggle a little bit on this Fiji. He's going to be wiggling, moving around, right? But we do want to get rid of him. Because if we can get rid of him and that cruiser in the smoke, right? It could be a fun day. Also, Nelson, I think, just dev struck one of our teammates, so I'm starting to realize that other side is becoming an issue, right? We need to win this side quick to help out over there before it goes bad. All that is on that side is our destroyer, but to be quite frank, this side has 2 caps. The double side is always more important anyway. In my opinion, it's easier to protect 2 caps that are close together than trying to get one that's way off by itself, right? You're not getting the value back. But New Orleans is broadside, and we're gonna make him pay with our AP. He is not dodging nearly as well as the Fiji is, and even though this is a light cruiser, we are gonna absolutely shred him, and we only have our front guns on. Otherwise, that could have been probably even considered a dev strike, because that would have been within 10 seconds had we got all our guns off on him and actually, got him. But we did maul him very quickly. And again, you can see we lost all our health while we were spotted there, right? Like, even with Fiji and New Orleans there shooting at us. And we obviously lost most of our health. But this side is gone, and we're going to be able to use our island cover now to try to get rid of these guys, as they probably are going to charge us. That's my theory, is they're going to charge into us. So if we can get good island cover, we won't have to worry about that, right? You can see we were angled to Fiji. Fiji wasn't doing a lot of the damage to us. It was other ships that were focusing on us while we were spotted. Now, I'm going to be a little bit dumb in this position here. I am going to start firing off my guns all willy-nilly like an idiot. I'm going to realize that very quickly. And we're going to get the speed boost and get the heck out of Dodge, because that was a dumb idea. One shell easily could kill me. And That being said, we are hitting Fiji pretty good. Or I mean, Mutsu pretty good. You know, we got a couple decent salvos on them. However, California's taking a shot at us. We did see it coming, so we started to dodge. We're being obnoxious, right? But I wouldn't recommend that in this ship. And you guys can see when I came out to the open, I lost most of my health. But that doesn't mean you're not useful, right? We're going to put a position here behind this island where it's going to make the battleships not want to shoot at us, right? But we are getting spotted, and that is an issue. We do see Ioba, and we do actually go ahead and take him out. And kind of decide to try to stay back a little bit from this island so we can shoot off of both sides if we want. Like right now we can shoot Ioba to the left or Matsu on the right. If we get rid of Matsu, we don't have to worry about getting flanked, which is a good thing. And so far he doesn't seem to be paying a ton of attention to us, right? Kind of getting away with a lot. But, you know, we did the AP on the cruisers. Most of our damage really was on the 2 cruisers and the destroyers. But now we're going to get some on the battleships. And you're going to see very quickly I'm starting to stack up fires. Now, this match, we're going to get unlucky and we're not going to get a winner. But this is one of the, you know, few tier 5s that you can definitely get withers in, for sure. I have before. So, you get people lit up and you can get them really on fire. Now, we do have an issue. We have a Boise that's shooting HE, even at stuff that is already on fire. So you have to understand that's going to be a little bit of our issue here. Otherwise, this could have been a better game. But you can see here, again, you know, California, one of them ships that pretty easy if the California is not really a super aware. You're going to start chunking California just because of the superstructure on it. And you're going to see here we're getting some shatters, but we're going to put more into the superstructure. I think a lot of them hit the turrets. As you can see, yeah, they're still hitting the turrets there. So you got to still be careful with your shells, right? So make your small adjustments. As you can see there, we get a fire, we get some full pins. And again, we're just using the island here to stay unspotted the best we can. Their destroyer is now gone, so now it's really just, you know what I mean? It's the classic burn them down thing, right? We get him as well, so we got Matsu in California. Normandy's going to start to move up. We're going to actually try to make him pay for this. And it seems like we were right? Like battleships will just charge in slowly. And that's no different. We kind of assumed they were going to charge. They had to. We had both caps. We had the advantage once we got the 2 caps. And now we're starting to win the battle. These shells are pretty lobby. You can lob them over most things. But I'm going to showcase here is we're going to wait for this island here. We're going to showcase, please use the AP of battleships when you get double fires. The difference between me and Boise in this scenario, we're going to have a moment here. This Boise is going to come right next to me, and I do run into him. But, I mean, he came right to the area where I was. So, but anyway, my fault running into him, whatever. But we're going to go back over here and start to work on the Nelson. There isn't much left that, you know, they only have a cruiser and a battleship. I can kind of be dumb, but I'm not going to, because you never know what happens at these low tiers. Ioba's coming in. Our destroyer, I don't know why, it's tier 5. Crazy stuff happens, and this is what I mean. Our destroyer's just going to sit in the smoke. He's not going to spot, right? He's got a he's got a cruiser that's going to charge into him, but he's not spotting. This is what drives me absolutely nuts from destroyers. Instead, he waits till Ioba sees him, and then he's going to actually get mauled by Ioba. If he had spotted Ioba, we could have killed him before Ioba just wrecked his face. Okay? That is a terrible thing to do in a destroyer, is sit in there, not spot when there's no spotting, and then wait for people to charge into you. You know, clearly he didn't have his sonar, and also he didn't have torps. So not a wise decision there on his part. Now this Nelson, this is going to be pretty funny, right? You can see here, out at distance, this is why over 15 kilometers don't really matter much, because even at 14 and he's turning, he's pretty hard to hit, right? These are lobby enough where, you know, having 18 kilometers on this thing kiting away is just, it's not a play style I ever believe in. If you were going to do it, you know, this isn't a bad ship to do it in, but I still just think the problem with kiting is, guys, if you kite away, it relies on somebody else. It relies on someone not smart enough to chase you down or trying to chase you. Kiting only works if people chase. If you get yourself in a good position like this, it doesn't matter whether they're kiting or not, or whether you kite or not, or whether they chase or not. They don't have much choice. You're safe and you're mauling them. Right? Tons of fires going on right now. We're already up to 12. Even with shooting stuff that's already on fire right here. To be fair, I was trying to see if he had, as we got fires on him, I was trying to see if he had fight fire with fire, right? Because at these low tiers, sometimes they don't. And really, he's angled to us. So you can see he clearly has fight fire with fire. We put a third fire on him, it goes out. Now, do you think our boy Z is going to notice that? No. And sometimes I understand it can be hard to notice it. But you're going to see how I switch my tactics up here, knowing he doesn't have fight fire with fire. Obviously, with him angled the way we are right now, we're shattering a lot on his turrets. And there's not a ton of superstructure right on Nelson. So, not ideal. Plus, Nelson can heal a lot back fire damage. And what you're going to see the rest of this match is we had our high caliber at 105, by the way. You're going to see not effective damage, right? You just saw it for the last 20,000. This damage doesn't mean anything. Nelson can heal this all back. And that's kind of what I wanted to showcase. Now, he gets hit pretty decent there by somebody. We go ahead and start him on fire again. And he's starting to make a broadside turn. We have him on fire. And we get a second fire. You think Boise would switch over to AP like I did, knowing that there's two fires. But nope, he's going to keep shooting HG. Although you are going to see me start to shred this thing with AP. Even though it's a light cruiser, you guys can see that, right? 4,000 a salvo, that's pretty solid. So when you get a broadside on a battleship, don't hesitate, right? It's a Nelson, I get that. It doesn't have the world's greatest armor, but you can still do this to all the battleships, right? Superstructures, all open for business, all right? So you can see we just chucked all that heal back that he was doing. And Boise's still shooting HE, even though he was on fire again and he gets it put out again. Guys, if you have two fires on the ship, generally just switch to AP, right? You're doing yourself more harm than good there as we finish off. But we had a solid match. We got, helped get rid of them two cruisers. Helped on the two destroyers, and then we farmed battleships. Almost a 3K base game at tier 5. Pretty solid when we're bottom tier. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you folks next time.